Hello, good morning and welcome to New Forest Morphs. I'm Jared and myself Paul here this morning. We've got a nice bit of an update for you on our breeding for 23-24 season. It's going pretty well, Jared, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been busy just putting out some food to build up some of these girls, and we did some follicle checks and we took some pictures of the follicle checks we did, and we were pleasantly surprised by a couple of those, weren't we, Jared? And was there any particular girls that we did the follicle checks on that you were surprised by?
Calissa was the biggest one.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've taken pictures, and if I show you some of these pictures, Jared, you can see that Calissa, she is a very slow, I mean, she's a beautiful clown, isn't she? She's a lesser clown, but she's had her for about 3 years, and she's right on the edge of 1,500 grams, I think. We can have a look at her and weigh her in a second, but I just want to show you the size of her follicles, because this one could go before the end of the year. And there's a picture that Jared is getting quite skillful with the ultrasound. I think you can now ultrasound a female within 2 or 3 minutes. You've located the follicles and honed in on them. So they're 23 millimeters, which normally they go around about between 35 and 40 millimeters is when they actually ovulate. So, and when they
she had a few as well, didn't she?
She did, and when they get to 23, this is the critical stage where you want to make sure that the food is supporting her, that she's taking in that extra food. So we've gone for strategy to, we've uplifted the size of the Maltese, haven't we, Jared? And we're going to be giving her, maybe this week when we place another order, we're going to buy some slightly bigger Maltese. Now those Maltese will be the same as a small rat, but they will give an extra 20 or 30% protein. And the poos are a lot better with the Maltese, we find, than we do with the small rats. So that might be a good strategy, just to give her that final lift to help her boost those follicles. And I think it's lovely because Europa has locked also with for a Batman project. She's a spotnose het clown girl. I mean, we can have a quick look at it if you like, Jared, and just see her. And here she is, Europa. So she's probably the next one that's going to go for us. And there she is. You can see, and when we actually looked at her, you can actually see and feel the eggs, can't you, Jared, as you were touching her? So it's really good news. So she's doing well and she's locking. So,
Oh wait, was it Europa that was massive?
yeah.
Oh, not Calissa. Calissa was big as well though, wasn't she?
Yeah, Calissa, I think, surprised us, because if you look at the size of the follicles, what's the size on hers? Did you upload?
26 mil.
26 mil. So actually, you know, she's the one that's likely to go for us. The other thing is, the other good news, Jared, is that in the video last time we actually had another 3 pairs that we put together that I forgot to video. But on the last video we did also put together the Highway Clown project that we were shooting for, and within 20 minutes Bello, who's our Orange Dream, Yellow Belly, Leopard, Pastel Het Clown boy, locked immediately with Bubbles. And we also,
within minutes of putting them together.
literally, and I think if I show you a picture of the lock so you can see that, because they're now unlocked and we've separated them because obviously we want to feed them today. I'll see if I can find the picture of the lock, Jared, because I think that was really one that we got super excited about. I think you've got to have a look at that, Jared. That got us excited, didn't it? She's an enchi lesser, so we could get some real I mean, it could be up to 5 genes in one baby if they all go to plan.
Yeah, we should get some nice clowns.
Yeah, and we did some follicle checks on her as well, and her follicle size, Jared. Did we do a follicle check on her?
No, she was mid-breed, wasn't she? Actually, we might have.
Yeah. I mean,
Was it Tess? Bubbles.
Bubbles.
No, we haven't with Bubbles.
Bubbles is the one that we hadn't done a follicle test on, because I think they were locking at the time. So what we'll do is we will actually do a follicle check on her. So the other one that locked for us again, because I think in the video last week we showed Calissa and Bowser together. Now, Calypso, sorry. Now you can see here that they're
separated now.
Are they separated? So we probably will separate them now. But we've got a confirmed visual lock, and you can see, if you look carefully, Jared, can you see the tails to tails quite close? So I think a lot of breeders who don't actually see the visual sometimes worry that they haven't got a visual lock. But what I found as I was deciding to check them 2 or 3 times during the day is that I think we will separate them now as they're preparing for feeding. is that not to worry if you haven't seen a visual lock, because the reality is I think a lot of these animals will lock. When you see a tail to tail, they've probably locked and they're going through a resting period, is my honest opinion. But well done, Bowser, you are now starting to produce some wonderful locks for us. And here, Jad, we're trying to produce, what are we trying to produce here?
Pies that are double het. So it's the Holy Grail project.
Yeah.
So we'll have pies that are double het, lavender and clown.
Yeah. We'll give her a good clean out and get her ready for food, and that's a super exciting project. So that's the second confirmed lock. And what we've done is we've put the locks on here, Jad. Can you see that we're now recording locks on here to help us keep tabs? And we need to check our follicle sizes perhaps next week as well. So that was really helpful. We've also had some other locks. Let me just see if I can give you some of the pictures. Wizzy, who's our yellow belly clown boy, locked yesterday as well. There we go. And he went to Celeste. Now let's have a look and see if they're still locked. I can't remember if I separated them or not, but I have separated them. So Celeste is a phantom pastel yellow belly. That's right. And we've also got what was the other one? Oh, it was Phoebe, wasn't it? So Phoebe. Actually, I think he went to Phoebe.
Yeah, he did.
We've separated them now, and you can see her in there. So they had a confirmed lock, which was really good. And she's a Het Russo Fire, 50% Het Pie. I'm hoping that she will prove out. So hopefully we can see whether that happens. And then we had another lock. Let's see if I can find.
Because Casper went to Celeste.
No, what it was Nova. If you look at that lock there. So Nova is the ultra male, Harvey ultra male boy we put to Celeste.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that looks really good too. So got a nice lock there. And seeing if there's any other locks I can show you. I think in all we had 7 locks this week, which is not bad from about 10 pairings. Really pleased. Oh, the banana boy locked to our
Pringle.
F&F. Yeah, there's the picture of the lock. Pringle and the banana boy got together. That's an exciting project we like. OD banana calicos. So that was super exciting. And then we've got the G-stripe, super pastel banana G-stripe locked to your girl Toast. So it's all looking good.
Oh, that one's not a picture of a lock.
Oh, they were locked though, weren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, sorry, they were
That's
locked.
right.
And then
It looks like he's looking to a bowl there.
yeah, this is the one that really got me excited because it's the double DG clown there, and that was the super enchi one. I think we put on the video, Jared, but that was a really good lock. So pleased for
Can't
Isa.
really see it on here, but
No, maybe I can blow it up a little bit. Let me blow it up. There you go.
yeah.
Is that better?
Mhm.
And that was a confirmed lock. Just seeing if there's any other locks that we can share with you, but super good. I think what we can do is oh, I've got a picture of our clown Het Ultramel that's going to be coming mid-October. There's a picture of him. He's 122 grams. He looks good, doesn't he, Jared?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the plan there is to plug him into our Ultramel girls to produce some visual Ultramels that are 100% het for clown is the idea. And then what we'll do is we'll build them up, and then we'll put the father to the girls again, and then produce hopefully a double visual Ultramel clown. So that's really lovely. And we'll do an unboxing. And there's another picture of the there's the family that have done it for us, which is Peter and Kelly and Olivia, and they sent us the details of the parents of the baby, and I think that's really helpful to get the lineage. So I do like to have the lineage on the new boy that's coming. But I'll just show you a picture of how beautiful this clown boy looks, and you can see the influence of the Ultramel and the clown. You see some of the bright blushing that's in the dorsal.
Yeah.
So that's the Ultramel influence, Jared. So though when you're looking for these Ultramel influences, that's what you're looking for, some dark, some blushing, and he looks absolutely stunning. So thank you Kelly and Peter and Olivia for producing such a wonderful animal, and we're looking forward to picking him up in mid-October, so that's all good. Now I'm going to show you a few pictures of the follicles that we've very carefully gone through yesterday, and you can see where some of our girls are. Let me just get those out. Okay, here we go. So let's just go through a few pictures of some of the follicles that we took, and it'll save us having to go through everything. So the first one is Tess. I don't know if you can see her follicles. She's 13 millimeters. You see that, Chad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's our spot-nose het clown girl, and Hercules locked to her as well. So we're super excited about the Batman project there, multi-combo Batman project. So 13 mils, pretty respectable for this time of year. It's only September. Usually you expect them to be at that level when you get to October, November, but I think if they're building this early, we could have an early season if it all goes to plan. And this is the other one that surprised me, is and she's locked to our dream school boy, Mayu. She's a cinnamon pastel pied girl, and she was showing good size of follicles. Was that 11 mil, Jared?
Something like that.
Yeah. Now we thought she'd be smaller than her sister, so Mayu's up here and Atlas is here, and you can see that her sister, who's weighs slightly less, has bigger follicles than her sister. So you know, you can't go on size alone. Actually having the ultrasound helps you to pinpoint exactly what's going on, and I think it's beautiful that we have this as a tool. And the price of those ultrasounds have come down a lot. I think you can pick them up for £800 now, Jared.
Oh wow.
Which is a little bit more affordable for some people, because some of them were like as much as £2,500. They're all coming down in price. So this one here is Caramel, which is our ultramel girl. That's her follicles, and she's showing what, 10 mil, Jared? And she's already locked to Randy, who's our pied 100% hair ultramel boy. So that's really exciting. It'd be interesting to see the influences of these locks, whether it stimulates the girls and gets them building and feeding. And then Shadow, which is one of your favourite projects, Super Cinnamon Het Pied Girl. She's showing 13.3mm locks. Chad, you were pleased to see that, weren't you?
Yeah.
And again, she's locked to our Dream School boy. So we should get some cinnamon Het Dreamsicles, which will be Visual Pieds and Het Lavender Albino. Atlas, which is the sister of Mayu, had 9mm follicles, and she's locked to the Dream School boy as well. So we'll see how she goes. And then I think there was another one we did, Pistachio. Now Pistachio is a enchi clown girl, and she's got 8mm follicles, so she's not far off, Jared, is she? And we'll show you a picture of her. She's a beautiful girl, but we want to be able to use her, and we're thinking about putting bellow to her, aren't we, Jared?
Yeah.
Once she's up to size. She does need a little bit more size. And let's see what else we've got here. Cami, which is our Het Clown girl, is 9mm. So that's a good project to have going forward. We can use her as a Het Clown. That's lovely. And then we've also got, I think we've shown you Europa. I mean, look at the size of her. 26mm eggs. That's lovely, isn't it, Jared?
Yeah. She's got one in front of it as well.
Yeah, and there's quite a few in there, so that was really good. And then this is the one that surprised us, Calissa. And she's got nearly 12mm follicles, and we weren't even thinking about pairing her up, but she's already well advanced. Or at least developing well, certainly in the range for breeding. And we'll show you these smaller girls. And the other one that surprised us was Costa, that's only 2 years old, 2.5 years old. She is our Mocha Mojave, Jared, 100% het for ultramel. And we'll show you these little girls, but she's nearly up to breedable size. And then Isa, which is the one that locked for us with Hercules, is 12.5mm, which I thought was interesting. And I think that's probably all the locks and all the follicle sizes. Now let's just have a look at these girls and talk about a strategy for getting them prepared. Now Costa is one of them, isn't it, Jared? Let's just bring her out. She's shed out, so she looks particularly good at the moment, and I think she feeds very, very well. Jared's nurtured her on as a hatchling, haven't you, Jared?
Yeah.
And she did particularly well. And there she is. Isn't she beautiful, Jared? No,
She's a 21 baby.
Yeah. Now we've weighed her. She's about what, 1,250 grams.
Yeah.
And like everyone has this standard in the industry of saying about 1,500 grams, but she's got some really big follicles. She's just over 2 years old, and it makes you wonder whether you wait for her for next year or whether we pair her this year. So I think the answer will be the ultrasound will tell us whether she's ready to be paired. See how her follicles grow, Jared. Let's see how she grows. I think she's got a very keen sense.
She's only 1,200.
She's only about 1,200, 1,250. Yeah.
She's bigger.
She looks bigger, doesn't she? But it's not bad for a girl that's just a couple of years old. So we're keeping an open mind. We may end up actually breeding her this year, depending on how her follicles go. But had I not had the ultrasound, I probably would have just left her and thought next year, and it still might be a good strategy to do that. But what I'm saying is the tool of having the ultrasound is it allows you to pinpoint potential opportunities that may be overlooked. And the other one that we've got that you mentioned, Jared, was Calissa. Now where is she now? Calissa's over here. Now she surprised me because she's been a bit of a fussy eater. But if you look at her, she's carrying decent sized follicles, and I wouldn't think she'd be big enough to pair. But if we weigh her, she's just on the border of about 1,500 grams. I mean, shall we give her a quick weigh and just see where she is? I mean, she might be bigger than I expected, but she's kind of a multi-feeder. And there she is, and she's a lesser clown girl. But now we've got these high-end boys that are clown boys that are locking. If we get her up to size and the follicles grow, we can then put one of them to her as well, Jared. And then that gives us an extra chance of producing high-end clowns. So let's just have a little weigh. Now you can see that all the food's out. Jared's getting all the food ready to feed later. So we'll just put her in this little box here, Jared. So we'll set that there. If you can zero that out. I don't think she's that far away, but I think she's close to 1,500 grams is my guess. What was she, 1,585?
Almost 16, yeah.
So she's almost 1,600, so she's doing probably better than I thought.
And she's powdering, so
yeah,
she'll keep eating.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is later in the season, we might actually introduce a male to her as her follicles grow, Jared. So that's one to keep an eye on. I say it's nice to see some of these girls starting to build those follicles and starting to get ready for breeding, and it's lovely to see them coming along nicely. And then there was one other Jared that surprised us. I'm trying to remember which one it was now. There was a girl that was quite small that actually had decent sized follicles. I can't remember which one it was now. Pistachio, wasn't it? So this is Pistachio, so we'll just bring her out. And again, we'll weigh her up and see how she's doing. She's on the border again at 1,500. So I think the strategy, she's a multi-eater, is to place an order next week, Jared, for some more multis, but to step up an extra 10 or 20 grams and then give her a boost, because I think these girls that are on the border need that boost. And I think the high protein food is a false economy, I think, going for the cheaper version and actually not getting a clutch because the girls are not growing as well as they could is actually false economy, because there's a lot of work involved in raising these animals. If you can step up your prey size and protein quality, they could then get to the size where they're ready to breed, and then we get a clutch from them. So I think that's the strategy that we're adopting, is maybe spend a little bit more money on individual girls that need bigger multis and then get them up to size so that they can come into the breeding rotation. Let's just see how she's weighing. She's 1,554 as well, so her and Calissa are in a pretty similar league, aren't they? You wouldn't think they look big enough to breed, but they're right on the edge there. So again, we've got to go carefully and just put her back. And then I think the final thing that we were going to say is obviously when it's coming to feeding is to be careful not to overfeed as well, because the temptation is to sometimes think, oh, let's put some more food in them, and if you do it incorrectly, it's so easy to have problems. And so I think it's better sometimes to delay a year and be prudent, because you end up with a bigger clutch sometimes. But if your girls are on the edge, then obviously I would suggest using multis and to get them up, build them up at their pace so that they're not put under too much strain. But
they also gain weight faster in breeding season.
Yeah, I wonder whether they actually retain more water and drink more water to help with the egg development as well. So there could be that going on. So you might find that when a girl puts on 400 or 500 grams in 3 months, that will help her sustain her clutch, of course. Right, so it's a double video week this week, Jared, which I think, because they've got so much action happening, we wanted to share it with you. Say we've got some exciting things coming forward. Is there anything you wanted to share, Jared?
Nope.
So we want to wish everyone a wonderful, successful beginning of their breeding season. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week. Bye-bye for now.